Look at me. I'm using screen recorder. All right, what do I got to do now? Go to Word file and scroll down a million years. Go on a million years. So we got some poems over here. Some Jesus coming and all that shit. You. Oh yeah. Yeah. Said yeah. Sunday, February. Some really have to say. Hannah's Ragdoll. Karen? Oh. How to shut down the co-op. Bullshit. Number 3. Okay, what else is going here? Oh, hell yeah, Julie. Sky. 4th of July. He was the guy. A little birdie. What is that? Little birdie? What am I talking about? This is some weird shit. Fabrication, simulation, and frequency observations. Wow. Like nobody thought of this before. Wow. It's hard to get Hal. Oh, that's strange. Let's see. Okay. Alright, what am I doing? I find a brown paper bag, a dead bird, and a marker on my path. And so you can try to ching chong and ching ding dong. And a ching chong and a ding dong. Sunday, July 15th of the fucking thing. When the memory comes to me, it comes to me in a certain way. So I should continue doing what I've been doing. What does Alice do? They tell me just like, super, like, guys, the elephant guy. How to write a sentence. Well, you can write about it, la 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 la. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, coming by my channel and, like, watching my channel and shit. Hey, guys, look at my channel. Alright, hello, everybody. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming by my channel. Is my finger covering the microphone? Hello, welcome to my channel. Hello, back to my channel. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for looking at my channel. Alright, thank you for looking at my channel. And this is my channel. Okay, I'm back on my channel. And, okay, so I'm going to do this video. Alright, so I'm going to do this video is about Nine Inch Nails song called Closer, okay? This is the backstory to the Nine Inch Nails song called Closer off of the album called The Downward Spiral, okay? This is how it goes, okay? This is what I wrote about the backstory to this song in my autobiography, okay? Here's how, and I'm serious. I'm like, no, it sounds like I'm fucking joking and shit, but no, this is some serious shit, man. Let me tell you all about it, okay? Alright, so here is what I wrote. I wrote this song. I did it. It's not Trent Reznor. I wrote the fucking song. Okay. I wrote this song and this is, let me tell you about, about the backstory of the song that I wrote, okay. I wrote this song in very early grade school when I learned about Charles Manson and the Tate murders and delivered it to Reznor telepathically through Raggedy Andy. Although it sounds like a song about sex and not liable to have been written by a preteen, it is in direct reference to Charles Manson and his jealousy of Roman Polanski and his wife Sharon Tate, who he decided that if he couldn't have, nobody could. Charles Manson finally died in prison last year. Well, now it's been like 2 years, but anyway. The song was published on a record that was produced and released by Reznor, the singer, from inside Sharon Tate's house, where the murders occurred after he purchased the house and lived in it while he was doing this. A neighbor who knew the Tate family confronted him on the street and asked him what exactly was going on in his head to get the idea to capitalize on this horrifying thing that happened to her neighbor, and he stated in an interview that he cried that night after that encounter, then promptly moved out of the house. But the record is still producing significant revenue globally. There were incidents where the songs from that record were played through the radio in my mother's apartment years before they were even produced and released. One of these occurred while I was in 8th grade and living in Melrose Park, Illinois. It played through a radio station that my mother listened to, like NPR or something, and she's the one who turned on the radio. She said she hated that guy and that he was the devil. She told me to turn the radio off, but I didn't turn it off and wasn't even in the room, and she was mortified that she couldn't just walk over and turn it off herself for some unknown reason. The song was Piggy, and the year was 1988. The first debut record of Nine Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine didn't even exist yet, as it was released in 1989, and Piggy was on the second record, which didn't exist until 1992. The broadcast got through most of Mr. Self-Destruct before she finally figured out how to walk over to the radio and turn it off, as the radio itself appears in two different locations in my memory during broadcast of each of these songs, and may have been two different radios. The song Closer also appeared on a homemade cassette a friend of mine had, again before the material was ever released to the public, and during that time was again not yet even in the production process. The recording that appeared on this cassette, however, was complete and played through the cassette as I was sitting there playing Nintendo with her in her room. It completely freaked her out when it occurred to her that the recording wasn't even actually there, and she pulled the tape out of the cassette and got rid of it, and along with the device she was playing it on, as it was possessed by distressed voices clearly heard after stopping the music and hitting the rewind and fast forward buttons at the same time. This is what she actually did. That were saying specific things directly to her. The year this happened was 1991. Other songs on that record that I wrote and don't remember whether handwritten originals of them exist include Heresy, The Becoming. This song is about what happens to the souls of people who play video games, and Big Man with a Gun. These are all in reference to the psychological condition of orthodox patriarchy I was observing at that time. It's not likely that Reznor will ever out the fact that these songs are written by a child in mainstream media, but I could be wrong. It might have already occurred. He did admit in an interview that something was askew about his production chronology and that he was getting his material from another version of himself in a parallel dimension. Coincidentally, he also publicly admits to worshiping the devil, which I also do, disregarding my uncertainty that the context is the same. And that's the backstory. Well, it's part one of the backstory to Closer by Nine Inch Nails, because I have other extensions on this written elsewhere in this book. But now I am going to read the backstory to Like a Stone by Audioslave. I was 18 years old in the year 1994. I lived in an office space behind a bread store in Austin, Texas, and some other people were also living in office spaces in the same building. I accidentally ratted out a hippie and a pound of marijuana got stolen from him as a result. So, to compensate, I gave him this song to give to Cornell in exchange for the money. That's how it happened. The thief was summoned with a Ouija board. 4 years later, I found myself in Austin again, staying with an acquaintance very, very briefly. We were working at the same telemarketing office. One day, I came home and he said a limo stopped him and asked where I was. Whoever it was never found me. It happened after I called the radio station request line from work and told the DJ to tell Cornell, who was in town, to come and find me. I guess maybe it was him. He was annoyed that I used the office. My roommate was annoyed that I used the office phone to make that kind of call, and he said, "What if he doesn't find you?" And I said, "He'll become severely clinically depressed, and he'll be found hanging from his belt in his hotel room after the show." I guess I shouldn't have said that. Alright, In Bloom by Nirvana. I've written other extensions on this and that now appear in other videos on my channel. Anyway, here's another extension on it. When I wrote this song, the year was 1984. It was the first Nirvana song I ever written. I did not remember this until just now because I stumbled into a YouTube post saying that the Mandela effect changed the line in this song. They were trying to say the line "Reap the dark within" was changed to I remember now because I remember when she showed it to the teacher sitting there in the classroom in front of me. And she read it out loud, and I thought it was funny when she said the F part. I have never in all of my life met anyone who one. World religion and shit happens. Yoshime Battles the Pink Robots, which appeared on another record called Yoshime Battles the Pink Robots. I think I already read that one. We Wanna Rock. We Wanna Rock. There's letters that I wrote to Morgan. I already read those in another video. Um, um, okay. This is the backstory to Wearing a Raincoat by the Mimpa Giants. Wearing a raincoat was my father's way of saying using a condom. On several occasions, he tried to talk me into going into a whorehouse with him, but I wasn't interested. I wrote this song in Kalamazoo, and I don't really have much to say about it. It's basically just the criticism of a dumb analogy. One useful point that it makes, though, is that the reason people turn to drugs is to help them sleep, but a better alternative is playing the drums, in spite of the fact that a friend suggested this rather than you having thought of it yourself. Well, also, the thing about in that song, the part about playing the drums to help you sleep, well, like that reference was in reference to when I was a little kid, and my dad lived on St. Louis, and I was really really little. I was like fucking like still like a baby, like or a very small toddler, and he bought me a drum set for my birthday, and I used it to summon burglars that came um, while we were on vacation in southern Illinois in a town called Galena, where there was a lot of mosquitoes. But while we were out there, these burglars came in response to me summoning them before I left with the drums. They came and they took everything out of the apartment. They robbed the apartment. They took everything except for this one piece of furniture that was like dragged in the middle of the room because it was a really, really big, huge piece of furniture. It was like I don't know how to describe what the fuck this thing was. I don't even know. I don't even know the word for it is, but they couldn't get it out in time. So like when we came back, that was the only thing that was left. It was just that piece of furniture. It was like dragged in the middle of the room, like they were trying to take it, but they couldn't get it. You know. And also there was an onion. There was like a rotten onion in the fridge, and that was all that was left. You know, just that piece of furniture, that rotten onion. Um, that's all I remember. Yeah. Um, turn to drugs to wait. Playing the drums. Play the dr- playing the drums to help you sleep. Okay, yeah. That was what that was in reference to. It was about because that helped me sleep better to know that you know that I had the authority and the power to summon those burglars with my little toy drum set that I got for my birthday. And that they came and took everything away and robbed the place, and then they also burned it. And then they blamed that on me for some reason. They blamed it on me, and I was still being frickin' transported from a crib to a high chair during that time. So like, how the fuck did I burn down the apartment while I was out on vacation? You know what? How did I do that? You know, right? Somehow they decided that it was me, that it was my fault. I burned the place down, and they made up a story. They said that I threw a match in the trash can, a lit match in the trash can. But where the fuck did I get a lit match? If I was a baby, you know, and also because I was like 2 years old and I was like barely walking shit, and then the chronology didn't really, come together either. Like I don't know who they were telling that story to, that I was the one that burned the fucking place down, Apparently I robbed it too. Before I burned it down, I robbed it first. Took everything away. But anyway, I don't remember where I brought all the stuff that I robbed from my dad's apartment that I lived in when I was like 1.5 years old. But I wish I could remember where all that shit was. It might be some interesting shit to go through, you know. Okay. Anyway, this is the backstory to oh man, I don't know if I read this one already or not. Wood by Alice in Chains. This song is about seeing my youngest half sister naked. There is no other meaning to it. We were children, and I figured out a way to ask her to do this that wasn't awkward, which resulted in her walking out of a shower and just standing in the stairwell in my direct view from the bottom of it. The only awkward part of this was my other half sister, who was also watching from the top of the stairs and was jealous and infuriated that she had done this for some reason and threw a hissy fit over it. Trying to figure out how to communicate and interact outside the context of a contest of who was smarter was a lost cause with her because I dismissed it because I knew she learned that I inherited it from my dad. Way of seeing things was not fascinating them, it was completely freaking them out, and I had to be cautious on bad hair days when things were cryptic. I wrote this song while attending freshman year at Amos Alonzo Stagg High School in Palos Hills, where I wrote a few other songs for the record that one was on, including Dirt, Godsmack, Angry Chair, Them Bones, Sick Man, and Down in a Hole. Songs I wrote appearing on their previous and debut album, Facelift, included Sunshine, Man in the Box, and Sea of Sorrow. I'm slowly writing this book by hand with an actual pen, so the backstories to these songs may or may not ever appear here, if they are ever even remembered. Other things are occupying my mind, and I'm doing this on idle time. It just occurred to me, for example, that I have Kevin Reilly's direct phone number and just have to connect to the operator instead of leaving a voicemail, but now it's Saturday and I have to remember to not report this detail to anyone. But yet I just wrote it right there in my auto bio. How do you explain that? What happened there? Okay, just started rambling on about freaking daily life shit that I'm not supposed to even freaking like write even in a freaking personal diary. But anyway, this video is now about the backstory to Burden in My Hand by Soundgarden. I wrote this song in early grade school, specifically my first 5th grade year, as I repeated 5th grade after being skipped over 4th grade, which I was resentful for not getting to ever attend. I remember this because my 5th grade teacher that year was something awful, and that was the year I gave up on acting like I was interested in participating in any serious manner, and shredded my homework into confetti and made a nest with the confetti in my school box and nestled various school supplies in it as if they were bird eggs. I've been told by people that I don't need to go back to this memory because no one cares, but it happens to be the backstory to this song, so I care, and I'm someone, whether anyone is there to validate and acknowledge that besides myself or not. It is about going along with shit that doesn't benefit you, and how desertion is self-inflicted. It's about the stupidity of possessiveness leading to internal conflict, resulting in involuntary loss. The song's intent is to create a visual of taking the role of a soldier, going into the desert, then murdering your own family on accident. I don't remember who I gave the song to at the moment, but it could easily have been that very teacher and signed with Chris Cornell's name instead of my own, which was typical for me, and I don't remember where I learned how to do that, but for the record, Cornell's identification with the heavy metal genre is false. He was an emo rocker, bearing some skill at camouflaging this to fit in with the heavy metal genre, which is ultimately what crossed him out, I think, maybe. Alright, one time I dreamed that I detached my dick and used it as a pipe to smoke cigar tobacco. Isn't that nice? Okay. She Don't Use Jelly by the Flaming Lips is what this video is now the backstory to. The girl that I was mailing songs I wrote in Ann Arbor, Michigan to told me once that classmates used to tease her by leaving a jar of Vaseline on her desk. I think the Mandela effect changed the spelling of that brand to Vaseline or something. I have no memory of ever using either Vaseline or Vaseline for anything ever, so I never got the joke to this day, but my best guess is that it was referring to some kind of sexual lubricant. That stuff smells and feels and looks weird though, so I don't understand what the sexual appeal to it would be really. I guess I just don't know. I mean, for all I know, some weird pervert somewhere is getting some kind of catharsis from spreading it on toast. That was the line of thinking that spawned this song. In case you've heard it before and it didn't make sense to you, maybe that helps. If it even matters, I actually like jelly. I like orange marmalade, blueberry jam, and raspberry. All right, and this video is now about the backstory to Satan Gave Me a Taco by Beck. Okay, another one I wrote in 1993 in Ann Arbor. A roadie for Beck came looking for me because I guess I had suggested in a letter that I was interested in being in a video for this song. But when he found me, I was already occupied on a farming internship and I didn't want any part of it anymore, which angered the roadie who had his head set on being the one to score me, responding by trying to assault me over it, telling me I was throwing away my chance to be someone out there and whatever, but I'm already someone where I am, and that clown probably fell off his foot and cracked his useless skull open when he got to the end of the road. Either that or it was just a test I passed maybe. No one else ever bothered to find me to offer me a part in that video at any future date though, so I guess maybe I'm just going to have to do it myself. I still don't even know how the song got from the possession of the friend I mailed it to Beck. No one ever bothered to share that information with me. I met the rhythm guitarist for Enough's Enough, but I lost contact with that person too. He told me he was a junkie, which I never actually witnessed, but I avoid junkies like the plague. Just because there's a line about heroin in the song doesn't mean I'm asking for some. It really doesn't. Anyone with a contradiction against that to humor needs professional help or their face bashed in with a sledgehammer, whichever solves the problem. That's not abuse of free speech, and if you disagree, you can go fuck your mother. Okay. More letters to Morgan that I wrote. La la la. Keep going. Okay. What am I writing here? Purple Toupee. This video is now about the backstory to Purple Toupee by the Mippy Giants. I was attending my second year in 5th grade at Trinity Lutheran in Chicago when I wrote this song. I gave it to my teacher, Susan Green. She liked it, and she said she liked the part about the gold lame. She said, I had a silver streak and loaned me 2 Beatles records from her private collection at home, Rubber Soul on Abbey Road. I read the song out loud in front of the whole class. Everybody liked it despite its cryptic and spooky nature. Susan had a deep personal interest in figuring out why I was cryptic, which was appropriate since I summoned her into my reality so that I could tell her. And she was told. And she was one of the few people who actually found me and knew who I was. Everyone left school that day wearing purple toupees in their mind's eye. It was a strange day. Okay, Turn It On by the Flaming Lips is now what this video's backstory to. Inspired by the Portuguese girl I was mailing the Flaming Lips songs to, margin notes indicated that I wanted this video shot on a laundromat, so it was. I never met any one member of the Flaming Lips. Come As You Are by Nirvana is now what the backstory to this is now what the is now what this video is the backstory to. This video is about the backstory to Come As You Are by Nirvana now. Okay, I wrote this song while in early grade school and living with my father's side of the family on Rutherford Street. It is a general commentary on blind trust and authority. The basic message is that unconditional love and eager obedience to direction leads you to your grave, ultimately, or betrayal at best. At the same time, the song is also about friendship I had with a girl named Maria that bears no negative connotation, beyond a suggestion that we were enemies at some point in the past. We found ourselves at the house alone one day, and we decided to have a picnic. It was a relaxing day, except for a brief moment while she was cooking a steak and accidentally almost burned down the house. She was a dark-skinned relative on my dad's wife's side of the family, doused in mud, while I'm pale-skinned like my father, soaked in bleach, and We decided that the two of us are humans worthy of life, and that is the way we wanted it to be, and had no interest in polluting that nirvana with ill intent in any foreseeable future. The sentiment was allegorized by swearing we didn't have a gun. We sat in the stairwell and munched a pile of Valentine heart candies. We didn't have any romantic feelings. We both just liked those. Since we both were attending Chicago, since we were both attending a Christian school, we talked about the concept of heaven, and she asked me if I knew what Nirvana was. Sure, I said. It's a place that you go to when you have achieved a certain discipline of mind. I am in Nirvana now. It is not necessarily a good or bad place, but a state of unity and completion. How can that be sad? How can that be bad? She said. It can't, I said, but only because in Nirvana things are not perceived in those terms. Duality, bad and good. In the Christian mythos, heaven is eternal, so if you go to heaven, you can't get kicked out. But in Nirvana, you can come and go as you please. I would not want to go to a place I was quarantined to for all eternity, I said, which is why Christianity doesn't make any sense to me. And she's like, you just blew my mind. Then we squeezed lemon juice all over sliced cucumbers and watched Pinwheel. Then she changed the channel and watched Transformers, and that's when the steak we had abandoned in the kitchen caught on fire. Okay, now this video is about the backstory of Fucked Up Blues. The song in reference to that exact same day. Imaginative elements were inherited to it from the fact that neither of us were punished over the burning steaks, so we were able to joke about it. We caught it on time, but at first I told her to throw flour on it, and she was like, "Are you crazy?" She got a bowl of water, and the flame blazed up and scorched the ceiling. She's the one who first told me what a futon was, and I threw one in the song. The song is called The Fucked Up Blues because it was about us having the blues because we fucked up. Then, in retrospect, about me being sad for her because she was so easily abducted by the skin taker in Channel Zero that she was completely oblivious to the cloud of smoke hanging directly above her head. That day I told her about Channel Zero and the skin taker, and it enriched her life and made her a better person, always alert to what exactly was being communicated through TVs and radios and aware of exactly who turned them on. There are two versions of Channel Zero. When you turn off and disconnect all your preoccupations and listen to what is going on around you, that is Channel Zero. The Skin Taker and Slenderman are from the other Channel Zero, sort of. They were projected thought forms created with intent to get people out of the other Channel Zero. Alright, this video is now about the backstory to Fingertips by They May Be Giants. Written while attending Trinity Lutheran and turned into my teacher Susan Green, who I was attracted to and wanted to finger, but never got to because she was married and I was 11. The song is a patched together sequence of dementia and psychosis pretending to be imagination and creativity. What's actually happening in this song is I'm murdering Tiny Tim, who I hated. I hated Tiny Tim and wanted to kill him, so I did. The first thing I did was set his house on fire. Then I distracted him with silly, happy, childish little short jingle-like sing-songs to keep him asleep. Then I made him sing a song about having a heart attack, then follow up with ukulele while tickling his nuts. Whispered, "Fingertips." Hate comes from love. There's no way to hate someone if you don't love them, which is why my parents are still alive. But I'll finish the job if I'm called to it, and they know that, and permanently blocked emotional access. The astral plane is the emotional plane. You cannot astrally attack someone who you can't access emotionally. Tiny Tim was totally amazing and fallen lovable. That's why killing him was so easy. I loved him, but hate pushovers and suckers. It's only forgivable in childhood, at least that's how I saw it then. Other circumstantial elements apply. He was a celebrity and influencing others, including children, for example. This was bad news. Another song in reference to Tiny Tim was written for its redeeming qualities called More Bad Times. It's a metaphor for the misery and stupidity of gullibility, offering insight into the nature of its influence in people's lives. The concept of the song is even after his demonstrative self-sacrifice, they are terminally resentful for being deprived of experiencing further misery, and all need to be killed too. The album cover features a toaster with the lever in the down position to show the evil and consequence of complacent counterproductive action. I was in attendance at a Lutheran school when I did this. My 5th grade teacher there thought I was a genius and was aroused rather than intimidated by my revelation of this inverted cross, and shared it with the principal, who was equally intrigued. These were intelligent people, and I was very grateful to be gifted with the company of receptive hosts. I told her I killed Tiny Tim only after the songs and liner notes were already out there, and she was mortified, but still cared about me so much that she left the school. In retrospect, I regret having murdered Tiny Tim, to be honest, which feels out of character for me. I mean, I don't miss John Lennon at all. Tiny Tim wasn't a prick like that, though. He just pissed me off on account of being too stupid. Fuck it, it's over, I guess. What else is there to say? Okay. This video is now about the backstory to Angry Chair by Alice in Chains, written during math class at Miss Alonzo Stagg, and handed to a classmate who was a jewelry appraiser. I have another memory of handing a different Alice in Chains song to a different classmate while in the same class on a different day, and in both instances I had to sing the song to them so they would know the melody. This is how I remember these songs are mine. It was a Satanist who had inside connections and was keeping an eye on me in anticipation of a new Alice in Chains song because I told the other guy I had more, but I couldn't give them to him because they were stored in my head, and we didn't have time to wait for me to write them down. Okay. This video is now about the backstory to Louisiana by John Linnel from the record called State Songs. This song was in reference to Anna and her father Luis, who came to my classroom to meet me at the end, and they spoke Spanish, right? So if you talk about them in Spanish, you address the father first and then the girl, because the girl was a minor at that time, so you would say Louisiana, Luis y Ana, Luis y Ana. That was who they were, right? So then I made sure I wrote a state song called Louisiana. I wrote it in English, and then it was about them, right? Anyway, no, it's about Louisiana. No, but it's actually about them. So the song is in reference to Anna and her father Luis, who came to my classroom to meet me at the end of the day and thank me for giving him an Anna in bloom. It was released on State Songs 5 years before the Katrina hurricane sunk the French Quarter, which the song is also about. Katrina is coincidentally the name of another artist I wrote songs for. I could have titled the song in Spanish Luis y Ana, but then I might not have succeeded in sinking the French Quarter, and it would not have captured as large an audience, and it would not have been eligible for release on a record called State Songs. Alright, and now I'm scrolling past another letter to Morgan. Okay. And now I'm scrolling past some more extensions on In Bloom that I think I already have in another video. Now I'm scrolling past some shit about Van Gogh. Alright, Godsmack. Godsmack. You know what? This is where I'm going to stop, because I'm really fucking tired, man. I just gotta go to sleep now. Good night.